Okay, let's dive into this. Have you ever felt like you're constantly running on a treadmill, but you're literally never getting anywhere? Well, welcome to today's Explainer. We're going to break down an absolutely game changing framework to help you finally escape the cycle of endless tasks and fake urgency. We're talking about the Eisenhower matrix. So, listen, I want to speak directly to you right now. You know that incredibly painful reality, right? You wake up, you've got like 34 completely random tasks on your list. You work frantically all day long, you're skipping lunch, you're answering every single ping, and then you log off feeling totally unsatisfied. You're exhausted, but the needle hasn't moved an inch on the things that actually matter. But before we can fix this, we have to actually name the enemy here. It's not that you're lazy, and it's not a lack of discipline. You are simply caught in what's perfectly described as the whirlwind. This is that massive storm of urgent day-to-day operational tasks that just relentlessly compete for your time, your energy, and your attention. It's all that loud, demanding stuff that keeps the lights on, sure, but it completely stops you from making any real progress. And here's the crazy part about why we fall for it. Our brains actually betray us a little bit here. Picture a little stickman frantically running on a hamster wheel. That is literally your brain on Busywork. See, the brain naturally prioritizes short-term comfort and fake urgency. Knocking out those really easy, urgent tasks, like clearing unread emails or quickly answering a Slack message, that gives you a fast dopamine hit. It feels super productive in the moment, but honestly, it's a total trap. So the crucial point is captured perfectly by Dwight Eisenhower. The guy was the World War II Allied Forces commander and a US president, so he knew a thing or two about stress. He said, "I have two kinds of problems, the urgent and the important. The urgent are not important, and the important are never urgent." This is a massive paradigm shift. It completely changes the game from just doing more things to doing what actually matters. Section 1. Enter the Eisenhower matrix. Let's look at the actual escape plan. And this brilliantly illustrates the core of the whole framework. It's a remarkably simple 2x2 grid. You've got urgent and not urgent across the top, and important and not important running down the side. Imagine our little stickman faced with a massive, chaotic mountain of boxes. This matrix gives him exactly 4 clear categories to sort them into: do, schedule, delegate, and delete. Let's break these down one by one. First step is quadrant 1. Do it now. These are your tasks that are both urgent and important. Picture our stickman desperately throwing a bucket of water on a blazing fire. These are real crises, strict deadlines, unavoidable issues that absolutely require your immediate attention today. If your website crashes or a major client threatens to walk, you drop everything and you do it. But the goal? You want to spend as little time living in this specific box as humanly possible. Okay, let's take a collective breath because now we're entering quadrant 2. Schedule it later. These tasks are highly important, but they are not urgent. Notice how our stickman is just calmly planting a tree here. This kind of work takes time, it's quiet, but it yields incredible, massive value over the long haul. We're talking strategic planning, deep focused work, your biggest long-term goals. Because these tasks aren't actively screaming at you, you absolutely must proactively assign a specific time block for them on your calendar, or frankly, they will just never happen. Let's pick the pace back up for quadrant 3. Delegate it. So these tasks are urgent, but they are not important. Instead of dealing with a loudly buzzing phone yourself, imagine the stickman just handing it off to someone else. These are the daily interruptions, the low-stakes requests, the meetings you really truly don't need to be in. They definitely need to get done, and they demand immediate attention, but they do not require your specific, unique expertise. Pass them to a junior team member, or hey, nowadays, just let an AI handle it. And finally, we arrive at quadrant 4, delete it. These things are not urgent and not important. You have to be absolutely ruthless here. Picture our stickman just happily grabbing a giant pile of pointless paperwork and tossing the whole shebang straight into the trash can. This is your mindless busy work, scrolling through the web, tasks that offer literally zero return on your time investment. Eliminate them entirely. Just get them off your list right now. Section 2. The trap of fake urgency. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is understanding the most dangerous zone of the matrix. Think about the juxtaposition here. On one side, you have urgent but not important. Think about answering a coworker's super low-stakes instant message ping. It's noisy, it's stressful, it flashes on your screen demanding you look at it right this second. Now, on the other side, you have important but not urgent, like writing that game-changing strategic business plan. It's quiet, it's high value, but it can technically always wait until tomorrow, right? Well, our human brains will naturally gravitate toward that noisy ping every single time. And that leads us to a massive flashing warning sign. If you aren't careful, you will end up living your entire life in the urgent but not important box. This is precisely where the whirlwind lives. When you spend all your time here, you confuse pure motion with actual progress. You feel incredibly busy all day long, constantly putting out minor spot fires, but you end the day completely unsatisfied because you haven't touched a single piece of strategic work that actually moves your career or your life forward. Section 3. The Monday morning scenario. Let's make this super practical and apply it. Imagine waking up on a typical Monday morning. You've got that familiar pit in your stomach, you open your laptop, and you just stare at a totally chaotic, unstructured list of 34 tasks. It is completely overwhelming. Without a reliable system, you know what happens. You'll probably just start at the top, or maybe just pick the easiest one and essentially let the day happen to you. Let's move to and see how this builds when we actually use the framework. Watch how fast our stickman can filter this chaos. First, we delete 8 non-essential tasks. Straight to the trash. Poof, they are gone. Then, we delegate 12 urgent but unimportant tasks. Hand them off. Next, we take 8 important long-term tasks and schedule them for specific, protected blocks later in the week. And just like that, suddenly that terrifying panic attack of 34 tasks becomes a laser-focused plan of just 6 tasks that actually need your attention today. Now that is the real power of prioritization. Section 4, Planning versus Execution. Let's talk about the missing piece of the puzzle. Because here is the catch. The Eisenhower matrix is purely a prioritization framework. It tells you exactly what to do, but it is not an execution method. It's not going to magically help you focus when you finally sit down at your desk. And actually, scratch that, there's another pitfall too. When you're stressed out, it is incredibly easy to overestimate the urgency of literally everything, throwing all your tasks right back into quadrant 1. So to actually get the work done, you need to pair the matrix with solid execution techniques, things like time blocking or the Pomodoro technique, to lock in your focus on those high-value items. So as we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with a question. What is the single biggest important but not urgent task you are actively avoiding right now? What is that quiet, high-value project that could completely change your trajectory but just keeps getting pushed off by the noisy pings of the whirlwind? Identify it. Grab your inner stickman courage, put it on your calendar right this second, and schedule it before the whirlwind steals yet another day. Thanks so much for joining me, and go get to work on what actually matters.